So sitting next to me is a Dodge Charger GT all-wheel drive, and today I'm going to be bringing you a pretty quick review of the car, of its exterior, interior, and its driving capabilities. So let's hop right into the video. Now, starting on the front of the Dodge Charger GT, I would like to say that I've always thought Dodge Chargers look very aggressive no matter what trim level they are. Of course, the SXT is going to be the bare minimum, but the GT with that hood scoop and having these aggressive headlights with the daytime running lights, I think the front end of this car looks really good and aggressive. Alrighty, now moving on to the side of the Dodge Charger GT, I will say it is pretty mundane. There's nothing really special about it. You do get some nice body panel lines in the side here, but I do like these rims. They are optional to get them in all black, but I don't think this aluminum looks that bad. They are 19-inch rims, and they come standard on the Dodge Charger GT. The rest of the side of this, yeah, it's pretty boring. And moving on to the rear, I also think the rear end of Dodge Chargers looks very good as well. You get this massive rear taillight on the back that's sort of like a light bar, and then you also have this wing back here, which comes with the Dodge Charger GT in one of their packages. And then you have the exhaust back here, which it is the 3.6 liter V6, so it's not that loud. If you are curious what the exhaust sounds like, here's a little snippet of that. So that is basically what the exhaust sounds like, nothing special. The Dodge Charger badge, of course, is back here, but next to the Dodge Charger badge, you get this little 4 badge back here and a GT badge on the other side. The 4, of course, stands for the fact that this has all-wheel drive, so if you ever want to know if a Charger has all-wheel drive, that is how you tell. Alrighty, so driving the Dodge Charger GT all-wheel drive. Now, something I think is really cool is that they still add the performance control settings even in the V6 models of these cars. That way you can completely customize the sport mode. Of course, I have everything from the engine and transmission settings all the way to the steering. In its sportiest settings right now, traction control is turned off, or what they basically consider sport mode, but it's off. All right, so now we're at a stop sign and I have the car in its sportiest settings, and we are going to do a 0 to 60 timer with the built-in 0 to 60 timer. And let's get started. All we have to do, since it has launch control, all right, wow, 7.1 seconds from 0 to 60. That's not bad. It's quick enough for anyone buying this car. And powering it all is a 3.6 liter V6, naturally aspirated, connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This Pentastar V6 makes 300 horsepower and 264 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, not the V8 though. Though it's the V6, it's not the fastest in the world, and you could tell that from a 7.10 to 60. It's not that fast, but it doesn't feel, it feels smaller than it actually is. When it comes to the transmission of this vehicle, this doesn't use the 8HP 75 like the higher end models do, but it's still really good. It's an 8-speed automatic, and I actually really like it. The seats are a little hard, but as for the riding going over bumps, I don't think that's bad at all. Visibility out of this thing is, of course, great. You can get blind spot monitoring on this, but this starts at $35,000, which isn't terrible. It's not the worst priced vehicle in the world. But when you finally do spec it up, you can get well into the 40s, and I feel like at that point there's some better options in the Charger lineup where you could get the V8 instead and have a little more fun, a little bit more speed out of it. But this one, spec'd as it is, $35,000. I honestly don't dislike the car at all. Surprisingly, I'm not the biggest Chrysler fan in the world. But honestly, I'm sitting here driving it and I don't feel like it's terrible. There are also some nice materials, like the materials on the steering wheel, the center armrest right here, and on the armrest on the door. Those materials are pretty nice. Uconnect is all right. I don't dislike it. I like the performance pages and I like the performance control settings. I don't like how they don't put the heated and cooled seats functions as actual buttons. It's in the infotainment system. Passing power, it's good enough. That was 80 right there from about 55. I've seen people get faster 0 to 60 times than what I've gotten in this. Before I did it, it tells you your previous times, and someone did a 8.5 with this. Easily, I did a 7.1, near into the sixes. And then if you go to websites like 0 to 60times.com, you will see that someone has recorded a 6.4. I like the design of the gauge cluster a lot. I like this sort of retro look to it with the screen in the middle that actually shows you plenty of information. It gives you torque and power meters, which I think is really cool. I think Chargers just in general, especially with the aggressive LED daytime running lights, they're just aggressive looking sedans. So yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Chargers. I just am not a huge fan of Chrysler quality. Sometimes, like I said, you do get some cheap materials on the interior of this, but not as much plastic. It's a more like cheap rubber than cheap plastic in here. And when they do the plastic parts, at least it's this nice like aluminum looking textured plastic that they put around the infotainment system and around the gear selector down here. Not a bad powertrain. I love the transmission in it. I think it's responsive even with the paddle shifters. Gas mileage is 27 highway, 18 city, 21 combined, which is not bad. It's not the best in the world, and I think that, of course, other turbocharged competitors to this would do much better. Decently fast and good amount of passing power. 7.10 to 60, not terrible. And overall, I think it's a decent American sedan, and this is a dying breed of car. So, you know, at least Dodge is trying to keep the name alive. So that is the Dodge Charger GT all-wheel drive. Honestly, my opinion of it, I think it's a good sedan and a good car. I don't see any massive problem with it. Performance is a little lackluster and there's not much performance under the hood, but other than that, I think it's a very practical sedan from Dodge. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I will see you all in the next video.